1 o'clock in the morning on the 2nd of October, and I've written a book that is a compilation of film diaries starting with Withnail and I in 1986, which has driven me insane. So this is the first ever video diary, and I'm going to show you different pictures around the room so that they can cut away to bits to stop the boredom. This is the view from my house where I grew up in Swaziland. It always cheers me up. My wife. New York, 8th of October, and it's 5 o'clock here and 10 o'clock in England. This is my room.
As we go round the table with our panel of journalists. Finally, Bruce Morton has the last word on America's racial dilemma. Is it race or class or both?
You've put me on the hunks page here.
Yes, I think it's the maitre d' at Simpsons.
The maitre d' at Simpsons. So what do we do now?
This is the stud page, right?
This is the stud page. Well, I'm very flattered to be on the stud page.
Alan Rickman, Stephen Ray.
Right. I thank you.
Yes. Well, what you've got is that just tells you what the cover is going to be and what the cover was last year. It says what they sold last year.
Right. And why actors? Why are actors constantly...
It is inexplicable to me.
Why they are...
I think
is it because people don't believe in God anymore?
I think they get more... You know, there's a time in this country when you could put, scientists and engineers on the cover, and you can't anymore. Because the public appetite to find out more about them isn't all that great.
I've been going to art openings to try and meet women, and also because I like going to art openings. But last Saturday I was invited to a special dinner buffet. So I went and I had a really nice time. I talked to a lot of people, and there was an attractive woman there, and I thought maybe she was a model, but I could tell she wasn't because she just sort of had that look, but she wasn't made up or anything, and she wasn't very fancy, but she just looked good. So eventually her group came over to my group. She was with somebody, some little older guy, and they came over and I was introduced to her, so I started talking to her and I said, "So what do you do?" And she said, "I'm in high school."
To work. You arrive in the middle of the night, you leave in the middle of the night. Get to it, girls. Oh, yeah.
What time is it now?
It's 11:45. I'm now doing a scene that I haven't learnt the lines for. And, oh boy! What's happening, boys?
Very little is happening today. It's one of those windy days.
How many costume changes have you done this morning?
I've done 3 costume changes, and I'm now in my galoshes. Be careful.
What is your view, Sir Mel? A Denby man.
I love making movies. Simply love it.
Feel a bit like Titus Andronicus, not knowing what is going to be beneath this plate.
It's an old Mexican dish, apparently. You can either eat it or apply it.
Here I tried the salad, and even that was overcooked.
Some meatballs. I got some meatballs.
You're surrounded by cows and you're eating meatballs.
We have one here that we prepared earlier.
Yes.
You didn't know they had 3.
All of us were called in at 6 o'clock this morning, and then basically told to bugger off again. Because they weren't going to use us, and there was weather cover problems and the usual carry on. So I'm here, not doing anything. Going, so shopping. Finding there's a matinee movie, or I can sit down and read a book, or this feeling that you can't sit down and do anything, which you don't know.
And Emma, come in. 1, 2, 3. And if Helen could come up here now.
Let's go back to the beginning of that.
All right, still in quiet. It's a rehearsal. So very quiet, please. And action.
Dancing. Oh, I love the arts. Faith, I'll home tomorrow, Sir Toby. Your niece will not be seen by me. Or if she be... Your niece will not be seen, or if she be, it's 4 to 1 she'll none of me. The Count himself here hard by woos her.
I've heard us word. That is life in it, man.
I would like a different check, thank you.
It's a wrap.
I finished here on 12th night in Cornwall, and it's, God, 5:30. On a Thursday, here it is, on a Thursday. Loaded magazine has said, in an article in which they said, he's the quintessential Middlesex man. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't take drugs. He has a 6-year-old daughter and has wall-to-wall lentils in his kitchen. Bastards.
Welcome to my nightmare. Reshoot, because there was a camera fault with this big dancing scene in the ballroom. So we're going to go back 2 days before Christmas. Mel and I were booked into the same sleeper, and you can see Mel is of a larger size than me.
Gentleman of the road.
Yes, ready to go into this bed for one, the Myra Hindley cell.
My God.
Oh my God.
Disaster.
It's insane. Driven here by an 80-year-old taxi driver who said that he thought the wall was a big mistake and that the Germans should have won because they'd have run the country downside better than it is now.
Happy New Year. I've just come back from 3 weeks in Barbados, which was fantastic. And today I'm going to Soho to speak to Empire magazine, and you'll come along, about the re-release of Withnail and I.
And these corks, they're like cheap, little snotty corks. They should be those long ones.
Bruce, who's going to know that?
Well, I do.
Who?
That's the other thing. That's what I'm saying. 2 corks, 2 things wrong. Right, 2 things.
2 things wrong. Well, the cork should have had what?
Should have had Petrus written on it. 53.
Sounds very Poncy.
No, but it's a nice combination to have a bottle of wine worth 100 quid mixed up with fag ends. It's just a detail, love it. But, how about that book of yours? When's that coming out?
In the first week of May.
Is it?
And they, the libel people are sort of...
Because of this thing...
They're worried that because I've written that...
thing about me masturbating.
That thing about you masturbating, that you're going to, when you see it in print,
sue me. I might. Just for the fun of it.
Running! What time in the morning is it?
Too early in the morning. I've been up all night. I've
Why?
been up since 8 a.m. this morning because I've been writing about you. Oh, look!
G'day, Richie, mate. You're doing a bit of home video.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent, my friend.
Oh,
good to
no.
see you. Oh, so good to see you. I've never met you before in my life.
Richard, can I introduce you to Jamie?
Hiya, Jamie.
Nice to meet you.
Hiya. God, you look like a child.
I am.
You are a child. So how do you get to go and the producer of all this?
Don't know really. It was a mistake probably. It just happened when I wasn't looking.
Do you ever have people coming up and sort of quoting verbatim great big chunks of the film?
Not great big chunks, but lines.
People know lines.
Yeah, people know lines. That's all right, but if somebody asks me, did you know at the time it was going to be a cult film? Yeah, I can only say, yeah. Are you mentally retarded?
Who knows, that may well come up.
All right.
So, my guys, I get Richard E. Grant. So, Withnail and I, mate, I've got to ask you a question. When you did Withnail and I, did you realise you would be the cult classic?
So where are we now?
Broadcasting House.
Broadcasting House.
I work with Nightwaves, which is in the arts unit.
Right. And how long am I going to be on this for? 5 minutes?
You'll be on it for... yeah, about that.
So how did you get the job?
I don't know really. I think it was because my background was pop music really, and I think there was a perception in Radio 3 that in their kind of quest for new audience, it might be an idea to involve people who don't come from a traditional Radio 3 background, i.e. kind of academe. So I think that was interesting for them. So that's, anyway, I found myself doing it, I guess.
So you don't mind being in a cubbyhole? Because you're only in a cubbyhole for a short amount of time, and then the rest of the time, you're out there.
Well, you see...
on the freebies.
Exactly. Parnassus has many mansions, Richard. And some of them are cubbyhole-like.
Parnassus has many mansions. Oh, this is marvellous.
It's because saying things like that, I think, gets you jobs on Radio 3.
Yeah. So where are we going now?
It's Radio 2.
Radio 2, and who am I speaking to there?
Debbie Thrower.
Debbie Thrower?
Yes.
Right. Going down. Going down. What do you think of that?
I think it's lovely.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you get this mind the gap or going down? It's still like being at school. There's no headmasterly qualities of British life. Do you agree with that?
Right.
You do? Part of its charm. Going down. The Americans always find it very funny. They say, going down. Mind the gap. Ah, the glamorous world of radio. No, you just sort of go in. Because I was supposed to be there at 5:10. I'm going to be in the old dog box. Sorry about this. Have you had a heart attack? Are we running? Okay, this is big broadcast news now. Okay, we're off. Okay. Hi, Silla.
So what's next? That's always the question. What's next? So what are you doing now? What's next? Or feeling quite at ease with saying to you, well, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. I hated you, and I hated you in that film. What do you think?
This week has been so mad.
I heard today that that Barry Norman refused to re-review the film, or even mention that it was being released again around the country. Oh God! Because he didn't like the film in the first place when it came out, and he didn't want to renege on his original review. So, just didn't mention it at all.
God, I'm sorry. I really am sorry.
God, that's all right, you're here.
It's like being up at school again. Hello.
Hello. There's a bum watch for you, Richard.
Yeah?
You have it. It doesn't begin with E. I'm giving it to you as a present. Only if you tell me. Richard, listen to me.
Yeah?
Tell me what the E stands for, Richard. You did say it stood for ecstasy once, I thought.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, sign this. All right.
You're not getting me on that thing. Can we just do a couple of pictures?
Yeah, all right. Okay, come on, take a picture.
Come on, Kathy, stay there.
Yeah? Just doing holy doodah. Come on, come on, come on.
Okay, where am I? I'm in Toronto. It's so flat. I've never been here before, but it's so flat and so dull looking. And you drive in and it's you just think all these people have got, it's like thousands of ants.
People still live on one side, and then there's wonderful little cottages, and there are no cars, and it's lovely.
Meet somebody who's, you know, professionally nice in a motor car. And as you saw from the next shot that I took, I was driven here by the Incredible Hulk, who didn't say a single word the whole way. Just the smell and the feel that you get at the place, it's deadly dull. Ants. I've left Toronto, and I'm in New York. Yes, yes, yes! I'm in New York. It's pouring with rain, and I'm so happy to be here. I cannot believe it. Here for Jack and Sarah. And the best thing of all is that I have already got a list of phone calls, and that cheers me up so that I'm not alone in the Big Apple, because Toronto was so boring. I didn't dare show you any of the interviews or any of the stuff that I had to do because it was so boring!
Oh, London, yeah. I love London. It's a beautiful city, and yeah, it's wonderful to work there. Yes, they actually do tea, you know, in the morning and in the afternoon. You stop for tea at 10 and at 4, and you have tea and crackers and biscuits and all. It's very civilized.
Very civilized.
I like
Very civilized. Well, terrific. The movie opens tomorrow, and it's Jack and Sarah. Samantha, good to see you again. Please come back.
It's a perfect example of an actor, Samantha Mathis, talking total shite about what it was like to make the film, even getting the cod. Oh, tea at 10 and tea at 4. You know that it's just out of sheer nerves and excruciation of trying to come up with something. Just, and I was guilty of it as the next person, I suppose. Makes you cringe.
Please welcome Richard E. Grant.
Okay, here's the deal. What is so bizarre about this thing is that I've come to New York, I had all this sort of activity for 2 days, with, you know, from 7:30 in the morning till 7 at night. What are you going to do now? You give her the tape so she can go and shove it on a TV show.
I don't know if it's good enough to make it, to be honest.
By releasing it in 4 cinemas in the entire United States and the 2 major cities, and then Portland and Denver, 2 of those, which is like the boondocks, it just indicates, you know, unequivocally that they have absolutely no confidence in this thing whatsoever.
I go on roughly at 6:05.
Yeah.
Right before you is a band show.
Just to know what happens.
Which is actually, you'll see it when you go out there, and then it's a good act to follow.
You're still here and
You know what I mean?
plenty of time to spare.
I feel sort of humiliated. I don't know another way of putting it, really. So, I feel really pissed off.
We're stuck in a tunnel. We're really late for Charlie Rose, and I'm nervous.
Should we look and see what this tunnel looks like? Oh my god.
This is a good visual.
Oh yeah, we're coming out of the tunnel now.
We're coming out of the tunnel, but we only have
5 minutes to get to the studio. And how many blocks do we have to go?
about 18.
Then you get the reviews. I know you're not supposed to read them. This is Andrew Sass, and in the New York Observer for Jack and Sarah, which opens here tomorrow, 2 years after it was made. And, you know, tra-la-la, they like the film a lot. A Rolls-Royce cast, but then you get this bit. Mr. Grant presents a special problem as a Jack of all moods. He's been mostly cast up to now in parts that begin over the top, so that it now
that it becomes something of a stretch, or perhaps a contraction, to see him as a romantic hero. Though his acting is more than adequate, all I heard all day was more than adequate. I could have stabbed him. Anyway. The off-the-wall portrayal of a grief-driven derelict seems so natural in terms of his past performances. It is like bringing coals to Newcastle, so I felt like more than adequate coals rumbling around New York all day. And you say this is one person's review, it doesn't matter. But it sticks in your head like, I don't know what simile I can come up with here, but it just does. So, Oh, this is the ad they have here, in which I've been so airbrushed and I don't know, so they fixed on a new nose so that I look about 19. Bizarre. It's 4:15 on the 25th of March, 1996, and I'm not going to the actual Oscars, but I'm going with Steve Martin to the Vanity Fair party, and it's like going to a wedding, all dressed up in the DJ, in the early afternoon. I'm just trying to work out how much I'm so excited, because people are very cynical and say, well, it's Oscars or this, and people put it down, or they say it's this, or it's like cheesy, or it's, but everybody wants to go, well, everybody's going to watch, or wants to be involved, or doesn't want to be involved. It's the focus of everybody's attention here, absolutely, unavoidably, unequivocally. I'm so excited I can't be cynical about it at all. It's 7:45 in the morning, the night after the Oscars, and my agent has called me for a breakfast meeting at the Four Seasons Hotel at 8 o'clock.
Hi, my name is Steve Rudolph. I represent this lunatic Richard E. Grant. I'm with ICM.
And who else do you represent?
Oh, I represent Meg Ryan, Holly Hunter, Sigourney Weaver, and many others.
Right.
I like your button, Jack. We're having breakfast at the Four Seasons. It's post-Oscar night, which means it's the 26th. It's about 8:20 in the morning. Richard is completely hungover from the debauchery he executed on himself last night. My breakfast is coming back to join us again. And I'm getting extremely self-conscious. I'm going to ask you to turn this off. Goodbye.
Okay. There was a meeting with my agent. To be honest, I didn't believe a single word he said. It was all bullshit. Just papering it with the cracks. This is Jim, after winning his Oscar for Restoration. Is this how you're sobering up, Jim?
Well, Richard.
Yeah.
No. It's been one of those nights. Oh, this is so unfair. Turn off for a second.
All right. Where did you go afterwards?
We went to Spargo's.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Charming man. So pretty.
Yeah.
You know, inside and out. Very nice. He was helicoptered there. Isn't that rather wonderful? The 007 was...
Helicoptered?
Yeah, he went by helicopter from the Dorothy Chandler
Pavilion.
Pavilion to Spargo's.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
No mad cow's disease here. No front page news here. Oscars, Oscars, Oscars.
Just gonna play a little basketball. Ready?
Yeah.
Ah! Oh, yes, he's done it. Shooting section. Well, it was a tough game.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a great shot, and I did my best, and that's what you can do out there. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, but today was my day.
Wait, Richard, come here. Look! Are you seeing it?
No.
Look!
What is it, such? Come on. Come on. Come on, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. It's Wednesday today. Do you think I'm less paranoid or more paranoid than when you first met me?
Much less.
Get it. Much less? Oh, that's good.
I talked to Mr. Hopkins.
Oh, yeah?
He wants to do the other part in Custom and Country, maybe.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
When did you decide to be my agent?
About 10 years ago.
10 years ago. And it's worked out quite well. I've had 2 jobs in 10 years. It's really good.
Friday, my last day in America. I'm going to Columbia Studios, where I worked on Dracula 3 years ago. So it's my first time going back there, and this time again, last time I met Coppola, now I'm going to meet James L. Brooks. I'm really excited. It's for a film with Jack Nicholson and Holly Hunter, which I'm never going to get. Oh, God.
You're videotaping me?
Yeah.
All right. I just saw a movie you were in, and I can't remember which one.
Jack and Sarah?
Yeah. Richard's here to see Jim. Okay.
You can take my refusing to allow you to do that.
Oh, you can? How do you do? Hi.
Hi, I'm Owen.
How are
Nice to
you?
see you.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Here we are at the end of a week. What is so extraordinary is that your self-esteem is so dependent on whether you're working or not. When I came out of the meeting, I just felt great. But now thinking about what he said, it had a finality to it at the end. And you go through these permutations, perambulations, and conjunctions of what people have said and what they haven't done, and how it went, how long you were in there, and you discuss it with the agent. It's all like follow-up. And I'm sure the decision is made, or it's on a different agenda that has nothing to do with you, or everything to do with you, I don't know.
Coast up on the water, and then we took a bitter. We had a big banana, and then we had a pizza. We drove down Doheny Boulevard, and then we went to breakfast. We videotaped the driver, and then we all went crazy. Videotaped the driver, and then we all went crazy.